Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I want to talk about 5 tips for dealing with financial stress because lately things have been different and a lot of people have been experiencing financial difficulties, and that has been causing a little bit of stress. And of course, once anything is causing stress, it starts impacting your mental health. So that's why we're talking about it today. But before I get into that, I want to take a quick moment and say if you are subscribed, thank you so much for being a part of our awesome world. If you're not yet subscribed, please take a moment and click the subscribe button below so you can join all this awesomeness. And remember to tick the bell so you are notified when I post new videos so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you'd like to purchase 1 or 3 of my books, also a link below that will take you to a site that shows you all your different options of where you could get 1 or 3 of my books. Okay, let's get back to it. The first thing to do is avoid resignation or impulsive spending, because a lot of times when people are under financial pressure, there can be that resignation spending, which is when you realize, when people say, you know what, I'm already underwater, so what's one more? I'm already dealing with this. So what if I do this? What that does is increase the financial burden, but by giving you a small maybe relief, because at that moment when you're buying or when you're spending that extra money on whatever it is, it may feel like you're getting something, but at the end of the day, once that high has gone down, you're dealing with the pressure of, oh, that's one more expense. That's more money that I spent that I don't have or that was not accounted for. So avoid that resignation spending, because even if you for a moment think, it's already bad, so what if it's a little bit worse? In that moment, you may feel that way, but once everything settles down, you're going to feel a lot worse. You're going to feel a lot more pressure by adding to the financial burden you're already experiencing. So avoid that, and definitely avoid the impulse spending where you just happen to be, oh, this is awesome, or this is great, or everybody's getting this, let me get it too. Avoid those things. Make more calculated financial decisions, because then you're dealing within your budget and those are more accounted for. 2, avoid situations that lead to pressure spending. That's when you're around people who are pressuring you or who are encouraging you to make expenses that were not part of your plan, to spend money that you did not intend to spend, or spend money on things that you did not intend to spend. Those would be things like maybe going to the mall with your friends, and maybe your friends are in a different financial situation than you are, or maybe they're hiding their financial situation by overspending. But avoiding situations that will lead you to pressure spending, where someone tells you, oh, this looks so good on you. You need to get this $3,000 dress. You need to get this, whatever it is. Avoid those situations as much as possible. And one thing to do about it is being able to tell people, you know what? No, it's not in my budget. No, this is not part of my I did not have a plan to spend this money. But one thing you can do is avoid those situations, avoid putting yourself in situations where you would be pressured to, or people would try to push you to make expenses that you did not intend to make. 3, take time to understand your money story. Your money story is what your family of origin, what you learned, how you understand money, how you believe money is. Many of us grew up in families or in households where money was limited, and we always spoke of a lack of money, of more month than there was money, and those things. And as we get older, those thoughts, those ideas, those sayings that we heard when we were children impact how we start to view money, which is why sometimes you may have more than enough to do all the things that you want to do. But because you come from that space where your money story is that money is a finite commodity, where money is limited, you're living under a certain level of pressure that may not be necessary based on your financial situation, but because this is how you grew up seeing money, you respond to it that way. Or maybe it was one of those where, hey, we don't know when we're going to get the next big check, so we're going to splurge, we're going to overdo it, because different people's families had different relationships with money, and because of that, we end up having different relationships with money, which will eventually impact how we experience money, how we deal with money, and how we how our own relationships with money. So take time to understand your money story so that you can see how it is impacting you financially as well as emotionally. 4, set and work on financial goals. It's important to have a plan, to have a goal, to have things that you're working towards, regardless of what your financial goal is. Because a lot of times people throw around these words like financial stability and this, that, and the other. Those things don't really mean anything until you apply them to you. What is your financial goal? Because when you have a financial goal, it helps you set some parameters of how you're going to be dealing with your money, with earning money, with saving money, with spending money. All those things are impacted by your financial goal. So set a financial goal, whether it is to save a specific amount, whether it is to earn a specific amount, to purchase a specific thing, whatever it is. Set financial goals because it gives you some type of parameter to work around when it comes to your money. And finally, remember that your financial situation does not define you. Whether you have enough money or you don't, whether your money is overflowing or is not flowing enough, your financial situation does not define you. A lot of times people get into these situations where they identify with their money story, with their current financial situation. And that can lead to a lot of different emotional distress, depression, self-esteem, and all those things that could come from how you're viewing your financial situation. So remember that your financial situation does not define you, and finances are temporary. The way it is right now does not have to be the way it is in the future if you don't want that. Quick recap. 1, avoid impulsive and resignation spending. Just because your money is limited doesn't mean you have to go overdo it and spend extra money that you don't have. Avoid situations where that could lead to pressure spending, where people are pushing you or encouraging you to spend money you didn't intend to spend. Take time to understand your money story because that is making a difference. That is guiding how you view in your relationship with money today. Set and work on financial goals because that gives you a framework to deal with, to work with, to interact with your money. And finally, your financial situation does not define you. Just because your financial situation is one way today does not mean that you can't change it and make it something different when in the future. So keep that in mind. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that there are professionals like myself who are available, able, and willing to help, and are even providing remote services who can assist with whatever you may have going on. So please figure out who those people are in your community so that if you need them, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.